Right now, maybe somewhere under everything that you're carrying, there's a sentence running on repeat. I just need to get through this season. Maybe it's just get through this launch, the little kids season, the caring for a parent season, the season where your body has opinions. You're not living it, you're surviving it. And you keep telling yourself the same thing. It's just a season. But can I ask you the question nobody else asks? What happens when this season ends and the next one arrives and it's just as heavy? Because I need to tell you something with a whole lot of love. If every season keeps arriving as though it's something that you need to survive, that's not a season anymore. It's a program and it's not serving you. And today we're going to break it. Hey, I'm Kat Saunders and this is Set the Standard. And I see you. Every week we're going to take one standard you've been living by and ask the only question that matters, which is, did you actually choose this? And if the answer is no, we get to set a new one. This is episode 2. Let's get into it. Now, if you were with me last week, you might be thinking, hang on, Kat, last week you told me to stop, paying the later tax, stop deferring my life. And now you're going to tell me to prepare for the future. Which one is it? So that's fair, right? But let me be really precise with this because there is that distinction is this whole episode. The later tax is what you pay when you're deferring your life, the phone calls, the rest you need. It's those special moments. And when we stop deferring those, full stop, standard stands. Today is about something different. And it's about why life keeps feeling like something to get through. And here's the truth. Survival mode is not a season. Seasons end. Survival mode, when we ignore it, it doesn't end. It changes its outfit. It follows you into the next one. Here's the truth about every season that nobody, hands us. Every single one of them ends. I don't say that as doom. I say it as data, right? So your mat leave ends. The little years end. One day you're carrying them on the hip, and the next thing you know that time's already passed because they're too big now, and they're off and running. The hip C has now officially been retired. You've got primary school years, seasons where your body says yes to everything. It starts to end too. Ask anyone who has knees that have entered their opinionated era. They used to bend, no questions asked. Now they might start to be filing formal complaints on every goddamn staircase that's in front of you. Careers end, and not always when we choose. Ask anyone with standing confidently within their industry in February of 2020 how much notice life gives you, and it's not much. Life will keep lifing. There will be seasons of not feeling well, seasons where family needs you, seasons that you can't see from here, and that's not pessimism. Yeah, that's a weather report that's actually reliable. Seasons change, and that's what makes them seasons. Now, here's the principle this whole episode holds on to. The women who move through hard seasons with steadiness are not luckier than you, but they just happen to prepare in a previous season. They build well before the drought, so when the drought arrived, there was already water available for them. The women stuck in permanent survival mode, it's because most likely nobody ever told them that preparing was even on the menu. They inherited a standard that says good women just cope, they cope harder, and they cope forever. You're allowed to hand that standard back. The one that says your only job is to cope, hand it back and claim a new one. I prepare for my seasons, so my seasons stop preparing ambushes for me. So the real question was never, how do I get back to a calm season? History tells you there may not be one coming because life keeps evolving unless you prepare for it. The real question is this. When the next seasons arrive, do you want to meet it in the way you're meeting this one, scrambling, chasing your tail, just getting by? Or do you want to walk into it with your well full of beautiful water? Let me tell you about a beautiful woman in business who I've worked with. She's amazing. And she has lived every beat of this. We're talking high pressure corporate career, building, a little side business. It was low ticket network marketing because she had a vision and it was to create an income so she could be home with her kids. Now that was the whole dream. It was nothing super extravagant, just to be there for her kids. And Jess did something most people never do. She ran the numbers of her side hustle. She sat down, she actually looked at the maths and what it would take to replace her salary. And the numbers simply didn't work. So she took it to one of the leaders in that particular company and said, hey, I've run these numbers and they're not making sense to me. The leader actually looked at her and said, if people actually did the numbers, they would never start this business. Let that sit for a second. And if you're in a model right now, and hear me clearly, Jess's problem was never her work ethic. And no doubt neither is yours because you're here. It showed the maths of the vehicle. Nobody showed her either. It's all in the maths, yeah? Now, if we talk numbers just for a moment, because so many women avoid them, and it's really about ability. And because often numbers carry emotions, shame, fear, or I'm not a maths person, and we tend to like kind of start to look away. We hand the money decisions to the husband and then wonder why he's the one saying that we can't afford that or you can't do that. And where exactly in the balance is in that within a relationship. Here's the reframe. Numbers are not there to judge you. They're like your employees and their whole job is to tell you whether the thing you're building actually serves the vision that you have. So Jess looked at hers like dead smack, face to face in the eye, and it set her free. Your power is in knowing what your numbers might be waiting to tell you, including that you could actually be earning more. So mat leave ended. The thing she'd been building was not able to support her. So back to corporate she goes. And there was one morning, she still talks about it. Her little boy was just feeling off, not sick enough to stay home, just clingy, needing his mom. And she had a massive pitch that morning that she could not miss. She peeled her own child off her body and dropped him off at daycare. And she quite often says that he was wrapped around her like a little koala and she handed him over to somebody else to cuddle, for somebody else to comfort, and then walked out the door. And she shares that standing in the lift on the way up to her office, she made herself a promise, whatever it takes, I will build my way out of ever having to do that again. But notice what she did next, because this is the lesson. She didn't just work harder at the thing that didn't work. She changed what she was building. She found leverage, high ticket systems, work you do once that pays you more than once. Same woman, same impossible season, but she built it in the pockets of her time. And seriously, she built it on her commute. So on the train, she built it in her lunch breaks. She was even answering DMs sometimes. And honestly, she shares this, which is like just the real nuts and bolts. Sometimes she was sitting on the loo and getting back to, people as she was building it. It's not always glamorous, right? But every one of those little pockets of time was an investment into a season nobody could see yet. 12 months later, she was able to replace her full corporate income. Now she's home. She's got, two more babies since, so 3 kids who will never remember their mum as the woman who couldn't come to book day, or any school or sporting event. Jess dug her well in the middle of a drought with a spoon on a train, and it's still watering her family today and will continue to do so in the future. So how do you actually survive the season you're in? 3 moves, small on purpose. Move number 1 is name your season out loud. It's not that I'm fine, I'm just busy. The real name, it's that I'm caring for my mum season. It's that I'm in the rebuild season. I'm in the season where my health is the headline. An unnamed season feels like a personal failing. A named season is just weather and you can dress for the weather. And once it's named, you're allowed to survive it properly, which means dropping what this particular season cannot carry without the guilt. And what does that look like? It might be the home cooked, cooked from scratch standard. Can be, being fed is being fed right now. It could be the committee role can survive without you. The friendship that only ever takes from you can wait on the porch for a wee bit. The spotless house can drop to a hygienic and lived-in house, and even some identities can go. The identity who is always people-pleasing, the one who never says no, the one who does it all. And honestly, dropping that identity is a whole episode on its own, and it's coming. But for now, hear this. Triage is not failure. Triage is wisdom. Move number 2, find your spoon. This is the both hands move. One hand survives this season and the other hand starts making small investments toward the next. And I mean small because it lives in the pockets of your time. The commute, the lunch breaks, the half an hour of Netflix that you swapped out because let's be honest, that's mind-numbing hypnotherapy about somebody else's season, which is just made up by a writer and is doing absolutely nothing for you. 20 minutes of building will beat 2 hours of numbing every single time. Investing doesn't have to be about speed. It's about direction. A woman investing in her next season is no longer only surviving, something in her knows what she's building. And that changes how the whole season gets to feel for you. And move number 3 is make sure you map your destination. Here's a 5-minute question. What season is coming for me in the next 1 to 3 years? And what would future me beg me to prepare now? School year's ending, a body that will want different things, an industry that's shifting. Because you never get in your car and sit there and just start driving with no destination. Yet that's exactly how so many women are actually doing their lives. It's like foot on the accelerator, but no destination, no map of how to get there. Discovery comes before direction. So you have to know where you actually want to head before you can build the road that gets you there. Sometimes the fastest way to find that is being asked genuinely powerful questions by someone who knows which ones to ask. I've said for years, you ask better questions, you're going to get better answers. You don't need to build a bunker to hide away and survive. You need a well that's filled with water for all the seasons that are coming in your future. So let's land this. There is no calm season coming to save you. I know I wish I had better news, but you don't need better news. You need the truth, because the truth is what's going to be able to hand you the shovel. Seasons will keep changing. Life will keep lifing. And the difference between a woman who is flattened by every season and the woman who feels steady inside of them is not luck. It's not toughness. It's what she built in the season before. So survive this one properly and gently. And with your other hand, start digging for your next season. If this episode stirred something, if you already know that you don't want to meet your next season the way you met this one, DM me the word season on Instagram or Messenger. That's where the real conversations start. I can walk you through my discovery process. It's a powerful set of questions that map out where you actually want to head, whether building your well with me is generally the right fit for you, and the season that you're in. There is no pressure. There's no weirdness, just a map and an honest look at it together. Before you go, thank you genuinely for being here, for your support, for 2 episodes of this little show existing in the world now. If you're enjoying it, please subscribe, leave me a comment, and if you're in a position to share this on your socials, that would honestly mean the world to me, because you were never meant to meet the standard. You were meant to set the standard. I'll see you next week. I think that was good. I hope so.